Okay, for our next example, we have moving along in our teaching sequence, we have a plus 1 times a plus 1. So notice here we have one term that is still a concrete number, something we can wrap our heads around, and the other term which is abstract. And in this example, again, I've subdivided the bigger square, which is formed from a plus 1. So this length right here is a, and this smaller length up here is 1. Same thing along the base, we have a and 1. And then I'm just labeling or shading, as you have on your handout, these two longer rectangles, and then we also have our smaller square up here shaded. Okay, now we know from the way area works, we're looking at length times width for the area of a square. If we look at the smaller square out of the larger one, with side length a, we're going to get a times a, which is a squared. If we look at the area of our green rectangles, over here we have a times 1, so that's a times 1, which of course is equal to a. Our rectangle at the top, we have 1 times a, or a times 1, because we can switch the order with multiplication. So we get a again for that. And then our blue square up in the corner, that's going to be 1 times 1, so that's 1 squared, which of course we know is equal to 1. So then going back to what's happening with our identity and what we're trying to do in our teaching sequence here, we have a plus 1 times a plus 1. And what we want to do is recognize that that is the area of the entire thing, but it is made up of the areas of the 4 smaller regions. And that gives us our a squared plus 2a plus 1. But again, what we want is to identify and recognize this as part of the overall identity, the a squared plus 2a times 1 plus 1 squared.